Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to Atomic Mass Transmissions Live. Today, we're going to be painting up the New York City apartment building terrain kit. It's going to be super exciting. I, for one, love this kit. We'll talk a lot about it. I'll show you some cool features of it. I think you'll be really, excited to see like how this thing goes together and some of the options that it has. So instead of me talking and yammering around, I'm going to switch it over to the mini cam. That's not so mini today. The setup's a little bit weird. We are running an airbrush today, so I got my mic on. The airbrush will be running, but as long as I keep talking, it should be fine. If you can't hear me, yell at me, and we'll make some adjustments. But I tested it out, and I think it works. So I'm going to switch it over to minicam, and then I got to walk over there. So we have to go on a little journey. Boop! Minicam! What up? Going to walk over here, make sure my microphone doesn't get in the way of anything. It's got a long way to go. It's got so long to go. It's got so long to go. And that's it. And I need my phone so I can read what you guys are seeing. All right, so the apartment building, we're going to be airbrushing this up now. You can see here, this is one that's already been started. This is 2 stories, and 2 stories is cool and all. You know, we got this like sweet little water tower. But where did I put the bag? Let's take a look at the bag real quick. Gavin says that's his house. I will show you my favorite part and several of our favorite parts of the terrain set, which I got a million things laying around. I'm not really set up for this. This is the best part of the terrain set. Three burbs, 3 pigeons, because you gotta have some pigeons. But one of the cool things about the terrain, this apartment building, is this frame right here, and this is the back and the facade. They're double-sided, so it's 2 different sides, and then all the walls are double-sided. So different walls, which also means different windows. So you can have bricked up windows or not bricked up windows. And we spent a lot of time working with the sculptor and going back to engineering and then going back to sculptor, and just really figuring out. The cool thing is the set builds a 3-story building, which I built a 2-story building. And if you buy 2 sets, now you can see the bottom floor is bigger, taller than this top floor here. But if you buy multiple sets, you can actually make the building as tall as you want. You can actually put this roof on there, make a 1-story building. You can make a 6-story building, you can make a 20-story building, you can do whatever you want. You can have 80 different floors. And then there's all sorts of options that come with it as well. So you have like rooftop access points. Let's see here. You have rooftop access points. You got air conditioners. Of course, you got the Nelson and Murdoch sign. You got fire escapes. You got fire hydrants. You got electrical boxes. All the little air conditioners can be put on any window you want. So a lot of versatility. Whole lot of option. 3-story, 1. No, you can do 3, 2, 1, 6. You can do whatever you want. It's a versatile kit, And that's my favorite part about this. Zoom in on the Nelson and Murdoch sign. It's the same one that's on. It's the same one that's on a Mr. Kingpin. I can pop it back up here. I can't get super zoomed out. Have a lot of control. Too many choices. Ridiculous rice pudding. There's never too many choices. It's just how many floors you want and which windows you want. All right, I'm going to kick on the air compressor, or not the air compressor. I'm going to kick on the vent. Now I'm going to kick on the air compressor. And hopefully you can still hear me pretty good because I got a microphone on. We're going to start airbrushing this sucker. And I'm just going to use a whole bunch of different colors. We're going to talk about how I approach doing this. I want a nice brick color, so I'm going to use some Mayhem red. Mayhem. I'm going to put in my airbrush. I'm going to use let's put a little more brown in there to start. Yeah, you can totally do bumper stop, you can do rooftop fights. All the little options are literally options. So if you like the and what I'm saying there, I didn't bring my knife over here to pop open these dropper bottles. But like, let's say the rooftop access point is a really good example. That doesn't have to be glued down, so you could, throw it, maybe. Damaged buildings. Maybe. I got a little alcohol and water mix here. I'm going to put just a drop of that. And I'm going to get about 3 inches away. And I'm going to just start laying on some red. I'm going to go all over. I'm not going to mask anything off. I'm just going to put it in there. I'm blowing through that real quick. Yeah, Spider-Man, Luke Cage, like all of them look really great next to it. I need more paints. I forgot how much paint these take. You don't have to use an airbrush. I'm going to use an airbrush. That's how I'm going to do it. Also, apparently didn't grab a paintbrush to do stirring. I'm going to use a toothpick. I'm a little more red anyways, now that I'm seeing it. There we go. So I usually start with like a nice brick red. And we're going to add different colors. We're going to have browns and oranges. And I'm just going to show you how I approach it. You don't have to use an airbrush. You can use Schick and Schaefer's been using some really cool techniques with stippling and just kind of paint smash and stuff like that. You can do the exact same thing here. My hands are in the way. Is it possible to leave each floor separate so they stack? Each floor is separate, so they stack. I gotta think of how you mean there. I'm pretty sure I understand what you mean. Each one of these, see these vertical bricks? Those are like a layer that snaps each wall in. So I guess you could put those on the top and you could have it stack and they all snap together. So I guess yes, by what you mean there, Tim? Is it possible for different floors? I don't understand what you mean there, Ezekiel. Explain to me fighting on different floors. No, we don't have those rules to fight on different floors. We don't have interior rules. Currently. There's no interiors to buildings in MCP currently. Get on it. That's not my job. That sounds like a Pagani job. I don't make rules. More airbrushing. I'm just laying that on. Do I have a special filter for my spray brush? Mine is blue. No, there's no special filter. It's just different companies make different colors. Oh yeah, this thing is size 5. I'm just grabbing more red paint, by the way. What red am I using? I'm using Antares red. I'm using a little brown ink. I'm using a little bit of everything. It doesn't really matter. You just want something brick red. Yeah, dual action brush. Vec. Would I need to prime these with my mini primer to get spray paint to stick, or can I just straight spray paint? I mean, I always prime everything no matter what, because primer has tooth and it just makes paint stick better. Shizzy Gaming, is it within competitive rules to dynamically pose the miniatures? Cut off and re-angle. Yeah, you can do whatever you want to miniatures as long as the miniature uses atomic mass game miniatures and you can tell what character it is. It has to, you know, if you're using She-Hulk, it's gotta look like She-Hulk. You can convert stuff. We love conversions. No, it's size 5 no matter what. Unless you and your opponent agree to something different. But it's a size 5. Remember, the sizes reflect more than just height and weight. It's like a combination of height, weight, volume. It's a little bit of everything. Alright, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to just keep building it up. Maybe I want side a little darker. Cover the windows? I mean, yeah, you can cover the windows. Or, you know, don't. Let's add a little shrapnel red. Maybe instead of covering the windows, I do it like this and then cover the window, or cover the bricks and then airbrush the windows. What are we painting Pagani for? Yeah, you have to keep the proper base size when converting a character. And then the characters have to represent the characters, you know, that have been released. The base size is super important, but you can also convert your bases. If you want, you can use whatever base you want as long as they're the right size. I'm sorry, I don't have the license that Ezekiel, you know, can't do those things. I'm going to start adding some more brown. A little more brown. So I'm just going to mix in some more of this shrapnel red. There's my noggin. AMAs, yeah. This is a kit this is a miniature that we are releasing. The New York apartment. It comes with 3 birds. Spin this around. Throw a little brown in here as well. Brown mixed with red, I guess, to be more accurate. And with bricks, a lot of brick buildings have a lot of different colored bricks laid in. So I like to pick out just sections and kind of represent those different bricks that you see all over them. Yeah, the building comes with pigeons. Can I paint around the building to make it look like a fire happened? Well, we might be able to do that. No, there's different ways to build it. Each one of these wall panels is double-sided. So there's different windows on each side. So you have these type of windows or these type of windows. You have a blank wall or door. You have two different facades. You have a, hang on, I can show you both facades. Let's scoot that over. So those are the two facades. You can see there. Oh, it's all about the gravity feed, R.D. Jones. It's all about that gravity feed. Alright, let's start kicking up some orange. Tagging? Yeah, I'll be doing some tagging on it. All sorts of stuff. That's much later. No, there's no special rules, Wampa. It follows the same rules as other buildings. It's just size 5. I really need a bright orange. I really need a bright orange. Hang on. Let me grab a bright orange. You get to stare at this sweet apartment building while I grab a bright orange. Because we're going to kick up the highlights on it. So maybe a little bit of, nah, that one's not. Need a really screamy orange to bring up those highlights. Maybe not super screamy, but something pretty bright. Maybe a little bit yellow in there. Mix it together. Mix it all about. Ugh. All right, we were a couple paint shy. Let's get a little more bright. We're going to be using orange to start building in some highlights, just some general highlights. Yeah, fall buildings doesn't really exist in the game. You know, they're supers. Last thing I want to see is Spider-Man getting knocked out because he fell off a building. That's Spider-Man, come on. Now when I start highlighting these big buildings, you can do this with a big dry brush, kind of like what Schick was doing on his vehicles. I like to highlight these edges. Just kind of pick areas and just kind of make accents. Got a little clog here. Just put a little juice in that. A little bit of alcohol and water mixed. Yeah, it's the exhaust, so I gotta keep talking. It's loud. Look, I live in a little apartment. I gotta blow the dust out. There we go. There we go. Alright. I'm just barely hitting this. Ever so lightly. Maybe a little highlight down here on that corner. And just kind of fade it in. You can do like little odd shapes. Like I said, I want to represent like those different colored bricks. So you just kind of spot it in. Just build up those little areas. You could be doing this with a big dry brush. Doesn't really matter. Whatever you got. It's just more about the philosophy. I'm going to build up brighter and brighter colors, and then I'll use a wash through my airbrush to bring it all down and bring it together. And I like bringing blues to the bottom, so we might throw some blue in there. Because as we've talked about before, blue is a great shade for red. Let's add some more orange. Yeah, it looks like a bad, uneven paint job on the flat wall. Looks great on bricks. And that's what we want to go for. We want to go for like a lot of variation and kind of tonal imperfection, and we're just building that up as we go here. So I'm adding more orange and yellow to the red that's already in the pot. I'm really going to start bringing in some more light colors. Especially on edges. Make some weird little shapes. Now we're just getting that nice variation. A lot of times on terrain, what I also like to do is make it spit. Which of course, there we go. If you can get it to spit, you get little dots. Like you normally don't want your airbrush to spit. On terrain, I like that spit because it makes those imperfections and just makes it more unique. Like, you know, who knows why there's little dots all over it. Just give it visual interest. Make it cool looking. I'm going to go a little more yellow. Just bringing up that intensity. Got some water and alcohol mix here. I'm going to put a little drop of that in there to thin it down. If you're doing this with a paintbrush, a big paintbrush, you could just, instead of making the airbrush spit, you just do a little stippling. Now it looks like a nice sunny day out there. Like I said, just bringing a tonal variation. A little more brighter on the door, on the front. Alright, let's kick it down. I'm going to grab some ink tint brown. I want this pretty thin. Mix that up. Kind of a weird looking slurry inside my airbrush. I'm going to layer this down at the bottom. And this is ink. This is just brown ink. And I like laying this down toward the bottom to make everything look a little grungy and used. It just gives it that yucky feeling down toward the bottom of the building. I like old buildings. All right, let's clear the airbrush. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm just going to use some of that alcohol and water, clean that out. Just going to go over and over and over again. Now I like to use a Q-tip. We're just going to wait for all of those layers to dry. As we clean this out, doesn't have to be perfect yet. What is up, Lancelot? Welcome to the stream. We're just painting up an apartment building as I clean out my airbrush real quick. Yeah, you can use all kinds of stuff. You can build your own. Me, I like a nice plastic kit. It's easy to build. Got some options. I love building terrain too. That's really fun. You can do whatever you want. I'm just going to mix up a bunch of different browns. Maybe a drop of this yellow ink. You can build your own terrain. Like I said, I like a good plastic building. Just high quality. I mean, that's why I like plastic. I mean, I like good hard plastic terrain. This building is super easy to build. I've built several of them, and wait till you see the engineering on this. As I was saying at the beginning, we worked with the sculptor, and the engineering team really figured out a lot of really cool stuff on this. So this thing goes together so well, and by being hard plastic, it's really resilient to things. Let's make that back really gross. Just putting this on here and there, just to add a little more, bring back some more of that variation. Tone down that orange just a little. I got a little zealous there. Alright, I'm feeling pretty good about that. I say all things are possible for a hobbyist. It's the whole point of being a hobbyist. Alright, let's look how these look together. I do want these to be slightly different, like they're different bricks. They're different buildings, but I do want them to look good together. I'm just cleaning my airbrush out real quick. Can it expand sideways? We looked at expanding it sideways. It required a lot of parts. Now, what I plan on doing is just putting them together during gameplay, like that. Or we can have it separate. We can have like a little alleyway for our heroes to fight in, which is what I'm excited for. I need Frank Castle to be hanging out in the alley. Ready to take anybody on. What do you think? How do they look together? Should I hit them one more time? Hit one of them one more time? We could talk about like how to tape things off. So if you wanted to tape off, like say you're going to tape off these buildings, take blue tape, let's try and get started here. You can take blue tape, and you can cut it out if you want. Now normally I cut this all out, make it nice and pretty around there. And you go around each of these windows. Now you could do this step first. We kind of talked about earlier. Tape off the windows. And then do the bricks. You can tape off the bricks, do the windows, it doesn't matter. I'm not real picky. This is just impromptu. It doesn't matter. Just a quick representation. Silly putty works really good. There's masking tape. There's frisket. There's all sorts of different weird materials you can use to do the exact same thing. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to mix. This doesn't have a hole in the top. I'm going to mix Miskatonic Gray and Moonray Flesh together. Just a little Moonray Flesh. Mixing that up. And I would tape all these off at the same time, and I'd lay that down and then do a wash on that. And then use the same color up here. To do that. And then I would do a wash on that. It's technically inner demon. It's size 5. It's a size 5. Clear this out. Alright, how's the red look? Should we hit the big one more? With a little more red? What do you think, chat? Tell me what color my building should be. If I had the big dry brush near me, I'd dry brush it. Real light. That's how it says bind it up. Accents? Yeah, I'm a little far away from accents. That's a lot of taping off and precision work. Camera's way over here. Yeah, it's got a base plate. It's got a base plate. You attach the walls to it. Each layer can be built. You can stop whenever. It's got a really dope. Let's mix a couple colors. I need to reopen it. It's got really dope rooftop access. It's got a sunlight. It's got a water tower. It's got optional air conditioners. It's real sturdy. It's got the fire escape. It's got 2 different facades. Remember, each one of these walls are reversible. So you get choices of the facades. Is there any way to magnify walls so you can swap the magnify so you can walk? I don't understand your question, Tsunami. It's got pigeons. got Josie's bar sign. You get 3 stories in the box. And then you can put as many stories as you want together. Magnetize? No, I don't think you can magnetize it. There's not enough room. Let's go from the top here so the bottom of the bricks stay brown. Bust in some red. Oh yeah, the little AC vents, you can totally magnetize those. Those can be, the AC units can be on any window, which is one of my favorite parts. We'll show the frame here in a minute again. Do y'all want to see the frame again? Let me kick up these highlights one more time. We're going back and forth and I love it. Alright, we're going to show the frames here in just a second. Let me make this orange. Yeah, it's got Josie's bar front. Just a little bright orange. Just bring that highlight back in. Uh-oh, we're about out. We're about out. We're about out. I gotta have pigeons. I have a bird agenda. Much to Mr. Wilshick's dismay. Alright. Let's clean that out. You've not been watching paint dry. You've been watching paint apply. There's a difference. Oh, willikers. There's a lot of red in that airbrush. Alright, let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at that frame one more time. So, roof. There's a one facade and one back. Then you flip it over, you get a different back and a different facade. The bottom floor, you get two different types on each side. You get doors and not door. The second floors, you get bricked up windows and not bricked up windows. And then the second floor fronts and back, you get two types of windows. So you get these, which is these. You get these, which are those. So you get two types of windows, put together how you want. And then you get all the fun stuff like a billboard and birds, and a skylight, and you get a water tower and a Josie sign, and more fire escape. You also get two fire hydrants, which are my favorite parts, besides the birds. The skylight, rooftop access. No, it actually comes with birds. More fire escape, air conditioners, Nelson and Murdoch sign, little power boxes, you know, because you gotta have somebody come by and read the meter. So you get lots of ways to build this. Lots of different variations, lots of different options. As you can see, I built two different ones. This is one facade, it's got the steps. The other facade does not have steps, but has a big window. And I attached the Nelson and Murdoch sign there. And then, what's really cool is the billboard is really neat. Just attach the billboard like the billboard just attaches. Oops. To the top. The fire agent, gooey tree, the fire agents could be size 1 scatter. It doesn't matter. I just use them for like whatever. I just use them for decoration. Maybe add them to a base to make bases more interesting. Stuff like that. I definitely need 3. I'm in for 3 because I want to build a 4-story. I want 2, 3, and 4-story. Let's turn this off. We're about out of time, so let me kick it back over here and answer any final questions. Swinging around, swinging around, swinging around, swinging around, swinging around. Bump, bump, bump. Alright, so as you can see, the apartment building has lots of different options, and hopefully the airbrushing made sense. The idea is I built up a dark brick red, and I built it up really, really bright into like really orange. And then I used some brown and blue down toward the bottom to create that like shadow and kind of dirt and dinge. My next step would be to start dry brushing it. And then what I'll do is then I will tape it off, and then I'll do the windows separately. You could go the other way. You could paint the windows, tape those off, and then do the bricks. It doesn't matter. If you're dry brushing, that'd be great too. Have the box of the kit. I do not have the box. Sorry, I do not have the box. But you can do dry brushing and build up stippling. The big thing is to like bring up that yellow and orange toward the top and corners, and then down toward the bottom bring in some browns and blues, right? And then you get that like nice variation. Big flat things don't have a lot of shadow and highlight, right? So if you go outside and you look at a building, they're typically one color. It's just more like variations of color and lots of little colors hidden in it. And that's kind of what you want to do when you're doing these cool buildings. You don't need a lot of shadow and highlight and contrast. It's just more like a lot of tonal variations. When I say tonal, I mean yellows, blues, and reds, greens. Like you can put a little green in there, makes it look cool. So there's like lots of different things to do to make your building look cool. And then we'll paint windows sometime. I like painting my windows black and then do like a really bright blue reflection. Lots of ways to do it. You could do lighter color windows with some browns and greens. It's all up to you. So maybe we'll do a window video sometime soon. Do you have any more questions while I'm just jibber jabbering? We got a few minutes. I'll take some questions. Where can we find great AMG swag? Everybody wants these hoodies. They're staff hoodies. All right, no questions. So I think that's all on the airbrushing. Hopefully that made sense. Could you potentially build two buildings with one apartment? No, you can't build two. You only get one roof. You only get one front wall. You only get one back wall. You can't build two buildings. Sorry. What's on schedule for tomorrow? All right, remember every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we have paint streams. Join Mr. John Schaefer tomorrow. He'll be painting up something fun, I'm sure. I don't know exactly what's on his schedule, but I'm sure it's going to be something awesome. We got the hashtag... My air compressor's still on. We got the hashtag painting protocol still going on. It's almost done for Infinity War, so we'll be picking our favorites of that and posting those up. It's going to be really cool. I'm excited to see those. And then we'll be announcing the next challenge soon after that. Any advice for matching your brush touch-ups? I don't really care about matching. I get close enough. Close enough is good enough. Tonal variations is what makes things look more alive. Look at my face. There's more than one color there. So especially buildings. Seriously, go out, like when you're painting terrain, go out and look at buildings. There are usually all kinds of different colors on those walls and stuff. It's like painting cars and vehicles. Like there's lots of tonal variations. So it doesn't have to be perfect. Get close and just have some fun and get in there and make it look cool. That's all that really matters. So, until next time, I will catch you next Thursday. Check us out tomorrow for Mr. John Schaefer, and we'll see you later. Goodbye. I'll see you later. I lost my mouse. There it is. Airbrush in a building.